Welcome, engineers and racers, to 2026. Now, I expect most of the views for this on January 1st, 2026. However, I'm recording this on the 2nd of Jan 2025 at 9:06 p.m. I already tried to record on this once, and my laptop decided a screen recorder was not the way to go, so I am now audio recording this on my phone. What this is a time capsule made at the beginning and end of 2024, beginning of 2025, for the end of 2025, beginning of 2026. It's 25 questions, 5 categories, 5 categories of music, coding, F1 in general, film and TV, and anything else. If anything that I think people might not know or understand, I'll try and explain them, but I can't be too... I don't know how well I'll explain it, because I tend to go down rabbit holes when I try and explain things, so that might not go well. First up, category, let's just get straight into it. Music. Question 1. Was AJR finally your top artist? AJR is a New York band comprised of 3 brothers. Been my personal favourite since 2022 into 2023, and but Spotify doesn't agree because of the way I play my albums. I make sure in the previous 2 years at least, I played every single album I had saved, which rightly so included a lot of albums from my second favourite artist, but they'd been my favourite long before AJR, and so I had 16 Imagine Dragon albums, but that one I don't need to explain, and so obviously Imagine Dragons was my top artist for the previous 2 years. However, I think that'll change with the way that I'm going to play them this year. I believe and I predict that the top 5 will be AJR, Imagine Dragons, Bishop Briggs, American Authors, and The Score. I don't believe American Authors is going to be any stranger to most people. One of their songs was on FIFA almost 10 years ago. Wow, that makes me feel old. And then if you know American Authors and AJR, you should know The Score. And Bishop Briggs did a song, the song Champion, that was in the trailer for F1 2020. So that is actually where I started to like her. So yeah. Anyway, those 5 are in no particular order. They can be any. I predict them in any order, not specifically the order that I said there. On to question 2, you can see what rabbit hole I can get down when trying to explain things. I just make no sense. Question 2. How many saved? And when I mean like this, I mean how many songs and albums do I have saved on Spotify? I have 195 albums. 5 of them are playlists with 1,820 songs. 301 of which are from the Wrapped playlist. This will make sense later why I count them. Not including 2024's Wrapped playlist yet. And by the end of the year, or when I release this, I predict 300 albums and 3,800 songs. I should say this is heavily inspired. I should say why I'm doing this and what this is inspired by. This is heavily inspired by a channel called I don't actually know how I'm supposed to pronounce the channel's name, but I'm pretty sure it is something along the lines of Ali Laughs. It's AI Laugh at My Own Jokes. She did a version of this a while ago, 8 months ago, and I thought that'd be cool. And then also Mr. Beast stuff like this, right? He does he did one like this. I say one. He did something similar, right? I'm not going crazy there. Anyway, that's what this is heavily inspired by. And then, because time capsules are cool and show you progression and stuff, especially 10-year ones, foreshadowing. Question 3. Did the Spotify competitions accurately order the albums and songs? Kind of. Currently, I had a good system, but it was slow and would take years for new favourite songs to be registered as favourite songs within this order that I'd make. So I predict yes, but only after forgetting for a couple of months, because I'll forget about making it for a couple of months while I make other programming stuff, and then I'll remember and be like, oh yeah, that might be a good idea to do. The way I used to do it was that similarly ranked songs would play against each other. It'd basically be an ELO system, and then because 2000 songs could not compete against each other, it would just be best versus best, and it would take ages for some songs to catch up to the top, and so I need to rethink it. I've got an idea, don't know if it'll work, hence I'm not going to say it until I find out it works, and then I use it. So you'll find out at the end of this when I react to it. Question 4. Minutes listened. My 2024 Wrapped showed that it was 59,790 minutes this year, averaging 163 a day. Big intake increase over the 46,000 from 2023. I predict at least 3 hours a day on average, which will equate to 65,700 minutes. I like listening to music in the morning when I'm getting ready for my day, and then at night as I'm getting ready for bed. And then whenever I do studying and stuff during the day. So yeah, that's how I got 163 minutes a day on average. Basically, the music is just for whenever I can't watch a video because I can't focus on the video, but I also want some background noise. That's basically why it's so high. And finally, for music, track 13 is literally just a question. Now, if you know AJR, you know that they released an album in 2023, November, called The Maybe Man, and leading up to it, they said there would be 13 songs. When they released, though, there was only 12. People thought it was a sad song that they released about the passing of their father, God Is Really Real, but that was already on the album. And so the hidden track has been dubbed as track 13. They announced that obviously with the passing of their father, they're not in the state of mind to release a happy song, which they called it. And so it will take a while. A lot of people thought the immersive concert that they announced back in October was going to be that, but it wasn't. And I predict that it will be on a 2-year anniversary of the album, 10th of November, or just on the anniversary of any of the other songs. So that could be any time within the year. Now that I think about it, doing it on the anniversary of when God Is Really Real came out might be a good thing. I don't know. That might be an interesting one. That might be... Yeah, no, I could see that happening. Surprisingly, they didn't release any songs this year. They apart from an Inertia acoustic, they haven't released any songs, which normally they do. They normally release at least one a year. Interesting. If they need to take time, they take time. It's fine by me. Should be fine by anyone that follows them. On to category 2, coding. Question 1: did you complete anything? In 2024, I only completed one project, technically a couple others, but the one that I have classed as complete was
my Spotify competitions app. It's complete enough. I do want to make changes to it, obviously. But it's enough for me to be used. It's enough technically for it to be used by other people. Um, and also I did technically complete an AI, although the AI technically still needs work on. So these two are complete, but they do need work on them both. So they technically aren't, but they're complete enough for this. So yeah.
question 2. Hold on. Question 1. The goal is to complete a Racing Manager game, telemetry app, and any two of later pick. Racing Manager game, I don't think I've said at all on any of my channels. This is a game that I started making in October, November of 2021, and then later put on the sidelines, only working on it a bit when I was bored, because Frontier decided to announce that they were going to make their own one officially for F1. So I was like, okay, well, no one's going to want to play this, and then are they? Anyway, I think hopefully I can finish it this year. I don't want a project going on for 4+ years. That's just too long. And then telemetry app, been in progress, been in production since 2022, around the time of F122's release. Actually, no, the August of that year, sorry. A couple of months after the release, and it is technically in a finished state, but I'd like to polish up a little bit more, make it a little bit nicer, make it so that it can be personalized, and yeah, so I need to work on that. But the plan is spend 3 months on each project, and we'll spend the whole season on them. The Racing Manager game during winter, so it should be done and play tested by March, and then telemetry app play tested and done by June, and then the other two pick would be done and play tested by September and December, respectively. Question 2. Are you happy with Racing Manager? Right now it is going well, but probably should have more progress, and the goal is, as I've said, March for testing. At the moment, the baseline of the game is there. The only thing left to create to make it similar to telemetry app state is I just need to work on the AI and get practice qualifying and the race area sorted in the game. I need to work on another bit, but other than that, AI is pretty much left all to do at the moment. What I've gotten the AI to do is make a subatomic particle accelerator. You'll be given no more info on that. But yeah, the AI is going all right. I wish it was done by Christmas, but it isn't. And so hopefully it will be done. Hopefully it will be done soon, because otherwise it won't be done by March. So yeah. Question 3. Let's get on to something more uplifting and not depressing by me realizing I procrastinate too much. Was the telemetry app completed before F125? I completely remade the app for 2024, F124. The goal is no, because I plan for June finish. I expect April-May release for F125, sorry. Yeah, I shouldn't need to remake it this time. The only reason I remade it was because I didn't like the TK Inter stuff that I was using for it. You would have seen it in some of my older telemetry app showcases if you've watched them. and then I transitioned into Pygame, which you will have seen from any of the newer showcases that I've put on the behind the scenes channel. I don't know what channel I'm putting this on. This could be the main channel stuff or behind the scenes. I have no idea. I'd rather put it on the main channel though, but I feel like it could interrupt stuff if it's not, and I'll constantly be reminded of it on the if it's on the main channel because of how YouTube sorts stuff. So, I don't know. Anyway, what were the 2 random picks for the other 2 projects? Technically, last year's 2 were
Song competition
and an AI from scratch, neural network AI from scratch. And I predict this year's 2 will be FNAF Ultimate Custom Night 6 hours and the Spotify competition app. Let's get the Spotify competition one out of the way because music was the previous category. I have one, but as I said, the way that I was competing the albums and songs together, it would just take a long time. Current idea, I said I wasn't going to explain it. I'm going to explain it a little bit. My idea is that I split the albums and songs separately, so I can order both of them separately because that'd be cool. And I would just group them based on the closest square. So let's just say I have magically 256. Actually, the closest would be 196 albums. They'd be split into 14 groups of 14. And basically, I would just keep splitting every month or every so often. In the case of 14, that could be done every 2 weeks. I'd split the albums into 14 groups of 14 based on which ones I preferred. That's the idea. Whether that would work and how I'm going to do it, I don't know. Hopefully in the reaction to this I can explain that. And then FNAF Ultimate Custom Night 6 hours. I haven't explained that I am FNAF fan that much. Mostly because I kind of annoyingly jumped on the bandwagon at the end when the FNAF movie released. But I heard of its release in 2014 because apparently my friend made it on Scratch. Whether he did make it on Scratch, I don't know. But then I hadn't heard of the FNAF until the FNAF movie came out, and so I was like, okay, I probably could have been a fan of this. Let's get into it, and I did, and I made, and some other people made FNAF 1 as well, but this time they made it into real time studio. I'm talking about the people here, and in that they added a 6-hour mode because that's what a lot of people thought real time would be, not the animatronics. You've seen the animatronics move in real time, because in the base game they teleport, and so a lot of people played it on release. There's a lot of issues with it, unfortunately, but one of the issues I found people complaining about, which didn't make sense, was that 6 hours was boring. Because there's only 4 animatronics that you need to defend against, and 6 hours is very long. Basically turns into, it's basically what you would expect from a night guard job. So I thought, okay, yeah, not really any way you can make it interesting and fun, until I remembered that Ultimate Custom Night exists, which has 50 animatronics that you can face off against, plus the hidden 6 or so, plus like 10-15 animatronics that aren't already in the game. So I thought, hold on, that might be fun for the 6-hour one. So that might be one of the projects. I have about 10 before it that I probably should make before it. But as the next question will suggest, I am very close to making it top priority in even instead of Racing Manager and Telemetry app, which is an issue because. Question 5. How many times did you get sidetracked?
Song competition
was a sidetracked project. Same with neural AI network from scratch and beginnings of a security breach fan game. More on that in a bit. And I am dangerously close to being sidetracked with the Ultimate Custom Night 6 hour. I hope no sidetracks this year. Yeah, I decided to look up a 90-minute in-depth breakdown of the mechanics of the game, and that is dangerous for me because I now know how the base game works, and if I really wanted to,
I could finish my 3D renderer that I was making for the Racing Manager game, and make my own assets and literally scale the base Ultimate Custom Night game to 6 hours.
I can make the game because now I know how the AI works. That's why I'm very close to being dangerously sidetracked, which is why I need to make the Racing Manager game, because otherwise I'm going to get bored and start making 6 hour Ultimate Custom Night. And the more I think about FNAF, the more I want to do it. So yeah, bring back F1, please. Please. Speaking of, category 3. F1 in general. Obviously, question 1. Who was champion? 2024 was Max. 2025, it's hard to think of anyone else. I predict Max again. This is because I can't pick between Lando or Roscoe. And I can't pick between either Ferrari drivers, even though I am a Charles fan. I don't know whether Ferrari will be up there, and I don't think Mercedes will be up there. So it's between those 4, and I couldn't pick between those 4, McLarens and Ferraris. So I've gone with the old reliable Max, seeing as he's won the previous 4. I'll leave 2021 alone. How many rookies did well is question 2. Ollie and Franco did a brilliant job at the end of this, when they jumped in 2024. Liam did brilliantly in 23. In my opinion, not so much in 24, but enough to get the Red Bull drive. Unfortunately, I think Yuki may need to look elsewhere if he wants to get in a better car. I want to believe that Red Bull are not keeping him because of Honda. But the more he gets overlooked, the more I think he is there because of Honda, and that's the only reason why. It's annoying. He needs to do with Gasly and Albon. Although I'd say more Gasly because Gasly was always in F1, didn't have a break, whereas Albon did. Actually, to be fair, he might do a Gasly and take Albon's spot. No, that'd be Colapinto. I was going to say do a Gasly and take Albon's seat, because at the moment I like Alex, but I have a feeling he may crumble against Sainz, which is going to be annoying. But Charles is still my favourite, so it's fine. But then Charles might be crushed by Lewis, which I hope not. I don't think so, because Lewis is at the end of his career. But if Ferrari are fighting for the championship, Lewis will be there. You can't count him out. Anyway, my predictions for the rookies are that Ollie, Kimi, and Bortoletto will do great, but Hadjar and Doohan will do okay, and Liam will flop. No hate against Liam. I just think him in the Red Bull is not a good idea. And then Hadjar and Doohan. He's been out of it, and I don't see him as a Piastri, so I don't see him doing as well as Piastri did when he came back after his break. Hadjar will mix. He's basically Yuki. I think. I don't pay attention to F2 that much. Case in point in question 4 and 5. And then Ollie did brilliantly in Baku and Saudi, not so much in Brazil, but that was a wet race. Kind of forgiven for that. Kimi, I don't see him as the next Max, but I do think he has potential to be like Lando, Charles, likes of them. I don't like Russell. I don't rate him. He's right. Why do they need to bring Russell slander in here? I don't like Russell. Yeah. And then Bortoletto, F2 champion. Seems great. I think he'll do well at Sauber. Question 3. What races did you win? 2024 was 17 out of 26 of the races on F123. These being China, Saudi, Qatar, Abu Dhabi, Netherlands, Spain, Monaco, France, Hungary, Belgium, Imola, Portugal, Miami, Vegas, Texas, Mexico, Brazil, and 4 of the sprints. The 2 that I missed were Baku and Brazil. And then 2 of the 4 races on F124, both Australia races. I predict that I will win half of the remaining F3 races, and then because I'll win half of the remaining F3 races, I'll get into F2, and so I predict I'll win half of them, of the ones that I do. Yeah. Which half? I'm not saying. That's why it's just written as half. And kind of the same for F2 because I have no idea what ones I'll get done by the end of the year. Question 4, as I said, about F2. What F2 drivers? What F2 drivers can you assign to their cars? 2023's F2, because that's what I'm driving against. I can name 7 of them correctly. Maybe add a couple more, but I'm just going to keep it at 7 because it's easier and it's already in the Word document. Derula, Pocher, Iwasa, Leclerc, Cordial, Stanek, and Novalak. The only ones that technically aren't as easy is Iwasa, because he is still Red Bull. But if he's behind me, then it's easy because of the glitch that you may have seen in some of the videos that I've had behind him, and he has actually a red number on the rear wing, which it actually blends in pretty well. Whether the other Red Bulls have that, I don't know. And then Stanek and Novalak, I drive as one of them, so seeing the other one is pretty easy. 50-50 are the rest of them. Hauger, Maloney, Fittipaldi, Crawford, Hadjar are the ones that I get mixed up. Hauger not so much because he has green on the back. Fittipaldi not so much because he has yellow on the back. Crawford and Hadjar especially because they are the high-techs. I don't remember which way round they are. I do remember that they're 9 and 10 though. And then Maloney, I don't know. To be honest, I still got the mindset that he's Sauber because that's what he was in 2024. And so I would not think of him as a Red Bull driver whenever I pass a Red Bull in F2. And then Martins and Doohan because they're both Alpine cars. The only good thing about them is that Doohan's does have Invicta on his rear wing, so I should really replace Martins with Cordial, but still, I mixed them up in the Australia episode when I was driving in the wet. And then Vesti and Behrman, both Prema. There's nothing really that separates the two. Nassani and Benavides, both PHM. I don't think there's anything really that different between them. Same with Vishor and Correa in the Banana Sport cars. And then lastly, Miney and Boschon. One of them has green, one of them has blue. I can't remember which one. I think Miney has the blue and Boschan with the green, but I'm not sure. Either way, the goal by the end of the year is to get all of them correct. Whether I'll do that or not, I don't know. Hopefully. Question 5. How much did you keep up with F2 and F3? In 2024, I watched 10 F2 highlights of the 24. These were both Imlers, both Britons, both Belgiums, both Italies, and both Bakus. And I watched 0 of the races live or in full. And then it was 9 of the Formula 3 highlights, them being both Imlers, both Britons, both Belgiums, and both Italies, and Spain Sprint. Don't know why Spain Sprint. That was really weird. I don't know why it was only the sprint and not the feature as well, and why F2 didn't have the Spain one either. Anyway, very few drivers could be listed for each of them. In 2024, F2 had Behrman, Kimi, Bortoletto, Hajar, Aaron, Maloney, and Miney. There are probably some obvious ones I am missing, but like I said, did not follow it enough to keep in the loop that much. Correa, there's one. And then Formula 3 was Formula Only and Mini. There's a couple others that once I check the list I can now remember, like Beganovic and Lindblad. Yeah. But the goal is watch at least all the highlights and remember a quarter of the grids for both of them. So yeah, film and TV. This one's a little bit lacking in the questions. The questions aren't that good because I wanted a fifth category, and I already had anything else, but I couldn't think of anything else for this category, so it's just film and TV. Question 1. How many Marvel projects did you watch? I think What If Season 2 was the only one I watched this year, and that released. I keep saying it as if I'm in 2024. It's because I've written this in 2024. This was supposed to be done in 2024, the final week of it. But it wasn't because I'm lazy. Yeah, I think What Season 2 was the only one I watched last year, and that released in 2023, so yeah. And then Echo, X-Men, Deadpool, and Agatha all released this year. Although I kind of watched Echo, my brother watched it while we were at our grandparents', so it was on in the background, but I was on my phone during that, so I don't really watch it because I wanted to watch it by myself and still haven't. The goal is watching the 3 Deadpools, Captain America, Brave New World, and Daredevil projects. The old one is not included in this goal, but if I do watch it, that is still good. Question 2. Game films. Should try watching the Mario movie. I don't know. Chris Pratt has kind of put me off it. Although I don't know if it's Chris Pratt himself or if it's just the quote hate unquote around him being the voice actor when they released the first trailer. But I think people have rated it on par with very good films. I'm not going to say some because I have seen people actually dislike, so yeah, keeping in the middle there on the fence. And then the goal for new films are obviously, you may have guessed, FNAF 2 because that's releasing December 2025, although I might have to give it a month or two, so that might not be watched by the time this comes out. And then maybe the Minecraft movie. I need to watch the trailers, see if people are see if the trailers are as bad as people are saying it. Question 3. Childhood shows. I watched all of Big Hero 6, the series, during the summer. and then the goal is any of Gravity Falls, Phineas and Ferb, or DuckTales, the new one. I say new one. It is literally in air quotes in the document. Let me actually have a look while I talk about the other two. Some of my childhood favourite shows being Phineas and Ferb and Gravity Falls, but I never actually watched all of the episodes, so I want to watch all of the episodes. I did, like I said, with Big Hero 6, and I also did it with Milo Murphy's Law a couple of years ago, and so I want to do that with these ones. 2017 to 2021 was DuckTales. It was another one I liked, but never really watched all the episodes. I believe there's a few ones that aren't childhood ones that I do want to watch. For example, Clone Wars. Another one that actually is childhood that I used to watch was Star Wars Rebels. So yeah, there's quite a few. Question 4. Drive to Survive and F1 movie. Yay or nay? I honestly don't remember anything from this year's Drive to Survive. And I predict it will be a 65 out of 100, and the movie to be over the top or cringy. Reason I put 65 out of 100 is because I did not want to put 6.5 out of 10, because what's the point of doing it out of 10 if you're just going to use decimals? Yeah, hopefully the F1 movie's alright. I don't think it will be, but hopefully it is. And lastly, question 5. Did you eventually watch NCIS or anything non-Marvel / kids? My parents were watching NCIS, and so I started watching it, and was like, yeah, I'll start watching it soon. Soon can mean anything between a year and 100 years for me. So I haven't started it yet. Probably won't start it. That is literally my prediction. I predict no, because, in quotes, too busy. So yeah. But it'd be nice. It depends. I probably won't. And lastly, category 5. Anything else? Question 1. Have you decided whether you're actually straight or asexual? This comes from a question that one of my uni friends has asked twice, because I said I don't want a girlfriend or partner or kids. The thing I literally have written here is, remember, it would be really funny if you had a girlfriend this time next year. I predict you won't have a girlfriend because you will still maintain the quote, I don't care about a partner and kids, so I won't bother with that at all, end quote. To update that, it should probably say something along the line. You should probably say something along the lines of, there are no opportunities, so I'm not going to bother trying to make opportunities, because I can focus that energy and time on something else, like the Racing Manager game and telemetry app and stuff that might actually be worthwhile. I might be berated in the comments for that, but that's fine, because I'm not going to be popular enough for it to matter. Question 2. How many friends do you have? Names are going to be blanked out here, and if they're not, then they will.
A and B.
You talk to enough for them to still count. You are trying to meet up with them at some point before second semester starts. I don't think I'm going to have time. I think they're too busy with work. And the uni friends are
C and D.
I can guarantee that within the next semester you will speak to
F and G
properly for the last time, or already have, because they don't like me that's fine. I mean, I went down a rabbit hole of the 16 personalities things last night, so I'm going to mention I am an INTJ personality type, so it does not matter to me. I predict that you'll pick up another group of friends, but migrate to being closest to 2 of them, and still end the year with less than 10 true friends. Am I surprised about that? No, because I literally wrote it a couple of days ago. Question 3. Should I actually explain some of that a bit more? Maybe. No, it'll be fine. Question 3, YouTube stats. 90 subs, currently, actually it's 93 now, with 822 projects, with 69,807 views at the time of putting it in the Word document. I believe it's over 70,000 now. I predict you still won't care. I won't care to the point at which I am actively trying to increase that. I care obviously because bigger numbers are fun and nice, but I don't care for enough for me to actively try and make good videos. It just cares enough for me to put videos out. Something I do care about though, and probably I did think of making it the films and TV category, but realised I don't have enough questions for it. Rubik's Cube. 790 solves. Remember, a year of solves got wiped rudely. I don't know why. With a best time of 11.99. Mean of 3, 14.71. Average of 5, 15.87. Average of 12, 17.04. And average of 100, 19.02, with a total mean of 23.39 for the 3x3. The rest will be pictured somewhere. The goal is to get deeper into the 11s with my best time, get the mean of 3 into the 13s, get the average of 5 into the 14s, get the average of 12 into the 15s, and get the average of 100 into the 17s, and get the overall mean into the 19s. I did do some maths with that one. Yeah, that 11.99 solve has been there since 2022, I'm pretty sure. Actually, no, it might be 2023. Either way, it's been there for a while, and I have not improved on it, so that might be a struggle. But it's something I could do realistically. Whether I'll do it or not, like everything else that I've given myself a goal to do, not sure. And lastly, question 5. How was Florida? My brother is going to be finishing his GCSEs in May, June time. So we're going back to Florida as a family with the neighbours, because we have good friends with the neighbours. I didn't, quote, try, an end quote, to enjoy it in 22 after my GCSEs. So the goal is to enjoy it this time. Hopefully you did. You probably didn't go on many of the roller coasters. You probably thought, wow, my telemetry app is never going to get finished. But yeah, try and enjoy it this time, please. But that is that. 44 minutes. I don't want to edit that. God's sake. I'm going to have to edit that. I'm recording this 2nd of January. It might not upload until February. Hopefully it is uploaded by 9th of January. Give myself a week. But I have 2 other time capsules that I need to make as well. One for 2030 and one for 2035. There's 3 of these. I want there to be one for every year, one for every 5 years, and one for every 10 years. Because those feel like good intervals. And if I did any longer or any shorter, it'd feel too close together, and it'd be too much of the same. But if they're any longer, there wouldn't be as many of them. And so, yeah, these 3 feel right. Anyway, how'd I do? Yeah. Good luck. Enjoy 2025. Enjoy 2026, actually. And yeah. To everyone that's not me reacting this, have a good rest of your day. Bye.